effectively reached individuals in over 100 countries. His commitment to diversity and inclusion is evident in his ongoing efforts to engage and support international committees. Jay sir academic achievements are equally impressive. He holds master degree in industrial and organizational psychology, which he earned with an outstanding 3.9 GPA. Currently, he is further enhancing his leadership capabilities by pursuing an MBA from Louisiana Tech University. For an organization seeking a dynamic leader to superhead international initiatives, build global partnerships, and deliver measurable results, Jay Ligon sir is an exceptional choice. His dedication, expertise, and strategic vision make him compelling candidate for any role in international affairs. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining with us.
Thank you, sir. Although we are looking forward to the presence of Professor B. Ramu Ramachandran, the Associate Vice President for Research and Dean of Graduate School at LTU, USA. We regret to inform you that he is unable to join us today. However, we are truly honored to have with us Mr. J.R. Ligon, the Director of International Affairs at LTU, USA. Mr. Ligon sir, your presence here underscores the strong and growing relationship between our institutions. We are eager to learn from you. Thank you, Mr. Ligon sir, for being us today. We now invite you to share and overview the Louisiana Tech graduate degree programs with our audience. We are all keen to hear about the incredible opportunities that Louisiana Tech University offers for inspiring the students.
Select the file. Sure. Perfect. Hold up. Go to recruitment. Recruitment. Down, 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 down. Yes. And then graduate. Select graduate. And then full screen if you don't mind. Thank you, sir.
Slider.
Oh yeah. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, can I use this microphone here? Is that okay? Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Fantastic. Thanks for having me, everyone. I really appreciate it. Thank you, too. Thank you to the university leadership. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored. It was such a joy for me to come out here and to meet you. And then the warm welcome with the clapping, I was touched. My heart swelled, so thank you for that. That was amazing. Thank you. Okay, I think we're going to move it here. Perfect. Yes, are we switching into that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir. Thank you. as they get this ready, I just want to say how excited Louisiana Tech is about this partnership with JITS. We think it's phenomenal that we might be able to offer a pathway for you to experience an education in the United States in honor of the fantastic foundation you built at JITS. We're privileged that we can be a part of that. So thank you so much for coming in attendance. Thank you so much for welcoming me. It's just truly an honor. So thank you so much. I'm thinking it'll just be a second.
Hi.
Would it be possible maybe to just to move the podium and then we could use that one? Is that okay? Because we can use the smaller screen, that's fine. I think everyone will be able to see it maybe. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So, can everyone see the screen? Okay, all right, perfect. See, great success already. So my first question, I would just like to see who here would like to study in the United States? Could you just raise your hand just so I can see? Okay. Great. So what I hope is that not just this presentation, but I hope that you find me as someone you can reach out to for advice on your own pathway. It's something that we were talking about on the drive up here, and I think it's really important. Many of you see opportunities to work with agents or consultants, and I will tell you just from my own experience, this can lead you down a path in which you might be advised to go to a school that has a better arrangement for that individual agent than what might be the best fit for you. So here's what I promise I will do for you. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to give you my WhatsApp number, okay? I just ask that you don't call, just text me, because when you're awake, I'm asleep and my wife will kill me, okay? So just do your best to send a text, and then we can arrange a time. Here's something else that I was talking on the ride up here, and I think I would like to create a WhatsApp group for any student at JITS that is interested in studying at Louisiana Tech or studying in the United States. Now what I would like to do is, in that group, I'm going to invite some of my student ambassadors, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But this would give you access to current students from India, from other countries studying in the United States, and that you can ask them sincere questions. My goal is to take the mystery of this away from you. I know it's confusing, I know it's overwhelming, it's a major decision that you are making in your lives, but it's a valuable one, and we want you to make the right one. I'm not going to use this opportunity in that WhatsApp group to persuade you to study at Louisiana Tech. What I want you to do is, I want you to honor the educational foundations you built at JITS and pursue what is best for you in the future, and I hope we might be a part of it, but if we're not, I'm going to help you further along the way. That's a promise I will make to you, okay? There are some brochures over here, and we hope that as you leave, if you would like more information, you take one. I will try to make myself available for some one-on-one conversations. So if your hand was up, feel free to use me while I'm here. Let's get started, okay? All right, so Louisiana Tech, this right here is the Computer Engineering and Science building. And it's a beautiful building, and it highlights what a lot of you are probably interested in, right? And what that is that right here, this is called the Eco Car. This is a car that is built by our students, and it has won awards for fuel efficiency. This has gone hundreds of kilometers on a very small amount of gasoline. And this was student designed, student built. That's something that we thrive at Louisiana Tech, is hands-on. We want you building things. We're going to teach you theory, but that theory is going to come with practice, not before practice, right? We are going to give you an assignment, a project to work on, and through that you will learn the experience of solving problems and the theory that you rely on to solve them in the future at the same time. Now, up here also is a canoe. This canoe is made of concrete. Every year we have a competition to a concrete canoe race where we will race across a lake in these canoes made of concrete. So it's a really exciting opportunity, and it shows some of the experience that we have in civil engineering. And over here are some dune buggies and things like that. But I wanted to show you this because I think this is going to be a place you're going to find yourself spending a lot of time. Let's see if this is. Huh? Where do I point? Thank you. All right. Okay, we're ready. Okay. So a little bit about Louisiana Tech. So we're a fairly old university for the United States, right? The United States was independent in 1776. So a little more than 100 years later, we started Louisiana Tech University. So we have 11,000 students about, right? So it's a fairly sizable university, but we want to grow. And we want to grow with more diversity in mind. So we're looking to open up the pathway for international students to study at Louisiana Tech. I think you can help us reach these goals. We're what you would call a selective admission university. That means that we have certain test requirements for undergraduate students, but you're more interested in grad students, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. When it comes to our programs, we have 10 doctoral degrees. Something that is very exciting about Louisiana Tech is you can actually skip the master's and go directly into a PhD program if that's something you want to do. So by all means, think creatively. If your ultimate goal is to become a professor or to be a head of research, you're going to want the PhD, not the master's degree. So be flexible with the fact that you can actually go directly into that. Now, our master's degrees are great. Oh, what a phenomenal return on investment. You're actually looking at just a 2-year program. But if you study STEM, which I believe all of you are going to do, you're able to legally work in the United States for 3 years afterwards, making a U.S. salary, right? And we can talk a little bit more about that in the future, but that's a phenomenal opportunity. Imagine when we talk about our tuition, it's around $13,000 without scholarship or without assistantship. We're going to bring that down to $7,500 a year for some students, and some students a full ride. Now, imagine doing that for 2 years and then exiting and working for a company doing computer science, making around $75,000 a year, US dollars, times 3 for 3 years. Imagine being able to send money back home to mom and dad and say, "Hey mom, I'm good, right? I did this, right?" Imagine being able to send money back home so your younger brother or sister can now pursue their educational goals, or your aunt and uncle can suddenly start looking at what they're going to do better with their life. You coming to Louisiana Tech is an opportunity where all boats are rising, right? It's a chance of you to change people's lives around you that you love, and so I'm happy to be a part of that. And I think the master's program is a great way to do that in a very timely way. Now we're an art 2 research university. That means we are very high up in the idea of high research activity. And we have a high rate of, this last one's really interesting, intellectual property generation. Our university produces more IPOs, more intellectual property, right? We do that more often than many of our counterparts. Many of our students are going through their programs and doing things where they're setting up patents for their own inventions or their own products. All of those things are amazing and things that we are very, very involved in. So if you look at us, this is where we're located. This is Louisiana. Many of you might be familiar with Houston and Dallas, right? This is Dallas, this is Houston. We're close to that. These are just some of the surrounding universities to give you an idea of where we're located. Let's talk about cost, right? If someone came to Louisiana Tech and paid full price for everything, you'd want to have $24,000 per year. Okay, it's a lot of money. But I'm going to show you ways that you can get that amount reduced. Okay, first of all, we're going to get an assistantship. So that means $13,000 drops to $7,500 a year for anyone with an assistantship. And more than that, if your professor is on grant-funded research. That means the government gives them some money for their research, and when they write the research, they say that, oh, I have 3 students, I want you to pay their tuition as well, right? This is very common, and a great opportunity. Now, housing and meals. You'll notice this says on campus. Graduate students cannot live on campus. This is a number that we use to paint an idea. But your housing is actually much more affordable because you'll be living off campus with roommates. Let me give you, I'll paint a picture for you, okay? I used to live in Princeton, New Jersey. Okay, anyone's heard of Princeton? Right? Okay, great. Okay. In Princeton, New Jersey, I rented a 2-bedroom apartment and I paid $1,800 a month. It's a lot of money. When I moved to Louisiana Tech, I rented a 2-bedroom apartment next to campus. I paid $450 a month. Now that's massive, right? That is a massive saving. And so imagine, paying, what is that, 25% of what people are paying in other cities. So when you think about, oh, I want to go to a big city, you need to realize there are certain benefits of studying in a small college town because the cost is lower, meaning that your family is going to have more money that they can use for other things. That's a great benefit, right? So when it says $9,000, realize that you can reduce that by having roommates. Imagine if my house was split with 2 or 3 other people. I might have been paying $120 a month, right? Maybe one person in your household knows how to cook, right? So you all buy groceries together, right? This is what it's like to be a college student in the United States. Books and insurance, we do require that you have health insurance because there's nothing worse than having a health problem and not being able to afford it in the United States. It currently is about $300 for 3 months. So it's fairly reasonable in the United States, and this is the amount we'd expect for books. But many students do, honestly, borrow books from other students or buy used books, and so you can bring that amount down as well. My point is that even with these numbers being highly affordable, you can bring it down even more as long as you make smart choices. Right? Now, when you talk about our PhD programs, if you're in applied and natural science, right, this might be something more interesting for the pharmacy students. PhD in molecular science and nanotechnology. We are very big on nanotechnology. You'll see that a lot. PhD in business administration. PhD in counseling psychology, or PhD in IO psychology, or industrial organizational psychology. Our engineering and science, you have biomedical engineering. Computational analysis, modeling. This is where you're combining high-level mathematics and computer science. So any computer scientists out here that are also in love with mathematics and want to do some really high-level things, that's the program for you. PhD in engineering has multiple levels. So you have a PhD in physics engineering, so any physicist out there, anyone that wants to be Sheldon from the Big Bang, right? This is the path you would you would do something like that in. We also have materials and infrastructure as an area in engineering that you can study. So any civil engineering, absolutely, and a few others there. You'll notice that we have our molecular science and nanotechnology in 2 colleges. Our university is very interdisciplinary, so that means you can be working with a professor over here and a professor over here that fits your interest, right? So we personalize or customize your program just for you. And then the Doctoral of Engineering and Technology Management, which is actually the program I'm entering right now. So we can be study buddies, so by all means. So there's a lot of opportunities here. I want to talk about a few things that are important about some of these programs. Semiconductors. Semiconductors are a big thing happening in the world right now. And the CHIPS Act, which you may be aware of, is funding for universities to produce better semiconductors. And we have an institute of micro-manufacturing that follows under the Molecular Science and Nanotechnology program, focusing on the nanotechnology. And that is a very highly funded program, so if that's something you're interested in, I have great news for you. That's something you can really dive into, right? Also, in Arkansas, the state above us, they have discovered a very large mine of lithium, which means that we're expecting a very big push for EV production in our area, which is going to be very exciting. On top of that, we have companies that actually operate on our campus, and they're hiring their students as student workers, where you could be working for a company that's doing contracts with the U.S. government, or working for the company Reliance that is doing the semiconductors work. All of these things, you can be working, getting paid for them while you're a student at Louisiana Tech. Now, if you're more interested in the faster path, that's going to be your master's. And so you've got the master's in molecular science, right, nanotechnology, same issues we were talking about before. Business minds are going to be doing the MBA, counseling psychology, and then a lot of you I hear are computer science students. Who's a computer science student? Can I just see some hands? Okay, this is our #1 graduate program. There we are, right? This is our #1 graduate program, Masters in Computer Science. Students are exiting this job, making exiting this master's program, making $75,000 a year in the U.S. on OPT. It's a great return on investment, highly recommended. And molecular science and technology again, right? Lots of programs here. What I want to do, and something we were discussing in the car, is I want to be bringing professors in to discuss these individual areas. And that's something I'm really excited about, and something we'll get started. If you do want to get connected with me on WhatsApp, we'll definitely involve the WhatsApp group for that as well. Right? Now, if you're interested in learning more about degree programs or how to apply to graduate school, there's a great link here. Graduate assistantships, that's what everyone wants to know about, right? So absolutely, many of our assistantships are for doctoral students. So if you're thinking about a PhD, know that you're likely looking at a fully paid assistantship, where that means they're going to pay your tuition and give you a paycheck at the end of each month. There was a great announcement by our president. He increased the amount of assistantships for doctoral students by 1 million, 1 or 2 million. I don't want to give you the exact number because I don't want to cite it incorrectly, but it was a substantial amount of money from the president to help fund more PhD students. We do see master's students getting assistantships that they call the Master Special, and that means that it's going to reduce your tuition to $7,500 a year, but it's not really going to give you a paycheck on top of that, right? That is just a way to make it more affordable for you. You can see here that this is the waiver that dropped from the $13,000, right? So anyway, and let's look, it's actually a little bit more than that, my last calculation. So anyway, and you get federal grants, those are providing the stipend and the full tuition coverage, which we talked about earlier. So Louisiana Tech is on this quarter system. So we don't do semesters where you do fall and spring, you have fall, winter, and spring. Each one of these is about 10 weeks long, right? So you dive in, study fewer classes at a much faster pace. That means if you're studying AI in your computer science class, you're going to really focus on that program and really focus on that major. If you're doing data analysis and taking a really exciting class, you're not going to be overwhelmed balancing multiple classes. You're going to really dive in and take that and one other class at a time. Okay? And then you have summer, 4 months long, that you can take as a vacation. So this is Louisiana Tech, right? It's a beautiful campus. One of the things that I love about us is that we do try to find ways to make an American education affordable. We believe that's incredibly important, that everyone should ultimately be able to afford an American education. Now, we're not there yet, but we're getting closer and closer every year, and hopefully that this is something that we can help make that more of a possibility for you as well. You can see it's just a beautiful campus, you know, tulips and everything around. Now this building is the oldest building on Tech's campus. Okay, this is Hale Hall, and you can see this walkway, right? It stretches all around campus. What do you think is special about that walkway? Any guesses? Every brick is the name of a graduate. So that means that if you come to Louisiana Tech, you will forever be on our walkway with your name. Often we will see students graduated 20 years later come to our campus looking around, right? They're like, where's my brick? Right? It's something that's really valuable. It gives you a sense of home forever. There's a sense of, you know, I don't know, just being able to last longer than time. So we're very proud of that. So this is my office, okay? This is during the World Cup, okay? So if it gives you any idea of the kind of environment I make possible at my university, right? This is a student space. This is where students can go and they can have social activities, where students can go and they can actually work on their academics and study. I see students all the time doing study sessions together. You can come and get professional guidance from us, right? These are very important from us. So this is during the World Cup. We had a camera around the TV pointing at the audience. This guy right here works in my office. He's praying, you know, the other team scores a goal, right? We love the fact that we create community. It's really important to us. So when you come to Louisiana Tech, I guarantee you will find yourself spending a lot of time here getting to know the students. We have a wonderful effort that we put forth in creating international activities. This is Holi, obviously, right? Our Indian Student Association and our Nepal Namaste Association both partner for this event and other events on an annual basis. And these events are quite big. So you'll have Indian Night is an annual event where students will come out and they will serve Indian food, do dancing. This is International Scholarship Dinner, right, where we gave out $12,000 in scholarship because students simply made themselves part of the community. It wasn't for the best grade, it was for the students that really helped other international students. We really tried to focus that energy. And you can just see it's just a beautiful event. We do international fashion shows, right? We really want to make international students have a place where they can show their culture and share it with other students. Now, many of you are wondering, how do you get admitted, right? Maybe you're thinking, hey, maybe Louisiana Tech, I want on my list. Here is a list of the checklist for admissions purposes. Pretty straightforward. There's an online application. You're going to want to submit a TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, or the Pearson's test, sorry, PTE. TOEFL is an 80, IELTS is a 6.5, Duolingo is 105, right? Also, you may be able to waive your GRE. This is becoming more and more of a trend, but I do have some bad news. I saw a lot of computer scientists with their hands up. Computer science does not waive GRE. I'm sorry. It's just too competitive of a program. They're getting lots of applicants, so they will require the GRE. But for the engineering, if you have a 3.2 GPA, they will largely waive it for you. They're going to want the official transcripts, right, which I'm sure JITS will be able to help you out with. And they're going to want to make sure those transcripts are in English. There's a $40 application fee. This application fee is required, and the reason why, that money goes to fund assistantships. So if 100 people apply and only 20 come, guess what? You want to say thank you to everyone else that paid their application fee, because that money's going to come to you, right? So the application fee is very helpful, right? And any letters of recommendation. So these are just a simple list of what is required to apply to us. Now, this image on the right is just something I'm really excited about. Bappy is a PhD student doing the nanotechnology, and NASA has reached out to him, and they are now using his research while he's doing his PhD on how to live on Mars and Earth. It's very cool. This is the kind of scholarship that our students are able to do, and the kind of recognition they can get where you're suddenly looking at NASA utilizing your research for them. So it's really a phenomenal story of success. One of the things I mentioned is with WhatsApp. You can see here that little WhatsApp icon at the bottom. If you go to my website, which is international.latech.edu, that WhatsApp button, it actually goes straight to my cell phone, right? Now, I will tell you, I'm a little busy, so it won't be like texting your best friend where they answer in 1 minute, right? I might be a little late to get back to you. But I will always get back to you, and I'll be able to answer those questions for you. But also, we have current students that we call student ambassadors. And those students, their only job is to answer those questions for you. So I'll be connecting you with them as well. Okay. Now, here it is. This is my contact information. My office phone number. But I think what's most important for everyone in the room is my WhatsApp. Right, so if you can't see, that number is +1 for the United States, 318-243-8593, and it is on this flyer as well. So you'll be able to see that plenty. Okay. I want to be a resource for you. I want to be a resource for the JITS student body. So feel free to utilize me as much as you can. That's it. That's all about Louisiana Tech. After this, I'd like to take questions if we have time. Is that okay? So I will be more than happy to answer those. Does anyone have a question? Is there a microphone?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. J.
Good afternoon.
Can you please provide some more information about the GRE and assistantships and how it will benefit us
Sure.
while studying in the LTU?
So the because you want to talk about GRE and assistantship. So when you apply, your application is going to route through graduate admissions, okay? And that office is called grad school. Their email is gradschool@latech.edu. So that's where Dr. Ramu Ramachandran, he is the dean of that and other areas. But so your application will go there, right? And they're going to look to make sure you've got the checklist, right? And even if your GRE might be waived, they might think, oh, I don't know if it'll get waived, so we should ask the student if they have that, right? If you tell them, you know, if your GPA is strong enough and you're applying to a program that could waive it, you could always ask them in the email, is it possible to send my application without the GRE? And if they agree, then what's going to happen is it's going to transition to the college, right? And so the college is going to have a group that will assess it. You'll have 2 readers. Those readers are going to look at your application, and they might decide, hey, this student's really strong, we don't need a GRE from them. For instance, my PhD in engineering and management technology, they're going to waive the GRE for me because my GPA is high enough, right? So they might do the same for you. Now, while they're reviewing your application, they're also going to centrally decide, if you should be awarded an assistantship. Assistantships are initially done centrally. That means someone in the office is going to see it and be like, wow, this person would be great to work with that person. So they'll take your application and direct it to that professor. And that professor might say, oh, I don't need anyone. And then they say, okay. And then they'll send it to someone else. Now, if you get to a point to where you've been admitted and you're not hearing about an assistantship, it might be that they did not find one for you in that central process. That's when you want to start reaching out to professors individually. And it's really important. I want to tell this to everyone. I know this wasn't in your question, but this is important. When you write at a professor and you're asking, ultimately, you're hoping to find an assistantship, do not start that email as Dear Sir or Madam, okay? It just looks like you have no real interest in what they're doing, right? What you want to do is instead, you want to find the professor you're going to email, go to Google Scholar, okay? I'm hoping everyone here is familiar with it. It's a phenomenal website. Go to Google Scholar, type in their name, and you'll search and you'll find all of their research. And most of it you can download for free. Start downloading that research, skim through it until you find a faculty member that you like. When you find a faculty member whose areas of interest is similar to yours, that's it. Send an email, but that email is not, Dear Sir or Madam, please give me funding. No, we don't do that. That doesn't really work. Instead, professors are just like other people. They want to hear about themselves, right? So what you do is you send an email and say, oh, dear Professor Malcolm, I loved your research on this. I was very excited when you discovered that this plus this equals that. Thank you, right? A fanboy email, right? Like an email that we would send someone who we admire, right, for their work. Send that email, make a connection. The idea is for them to remember you or think that you're someone who's interested in their work, which ideally I hope you are. Excuse me. Thanks. Thank you so much. Fantastic. After that, you're going to imagine that this professor will reach back to you. Now, if he or she does not, that's okay. Wait for the admission decision, send another email. This time, use the original email, right? So you're sending the original email with the new email. And in this email, you want to say something along the lines of, after reading your research, I've decided to follow my educational goals at Louisiana Tech, and I look forward to the opportunity of working with you. Worst case scenario, the professor never replies back. But most likely, the professor is going to remember you because that approach is very interesting to them, much more so than, Dear Sir or Madam, please, full assistantship, which I do see those emails all the time. So that's my best advice. I hope that helped.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Amya. I want to ask about the placement drives. Can you say more about the placements, like how we will be getting them?
Placements. Can you elaborate on what you mean by placements?
Job opportunities.
Job
Oh,
opportunities.
sure. Okay, I was thinking admissions, so okay, yeah, sure. So, at Louisiana Tech, right, you have multiple opportunities to work. One, you have on-campus work. So that means if a company is on campus utilizing 2 buildings, we call Tech Point 1 and Tech Point 2. This is where companies are operating, doing kind of the semiconductor research and fintech research and things like that. And they want students to work for them. That's why they're located on our campus. So you can go to not the individual company, but to the offices that manage this initiative, and you can tell them that you're looking for work with these companies and see if something's available. That's option 1. Option 2 is the assistantship, which your friend was just asking about, right? So we definitely want to see you get assistantship to reduce cost. The third option is called CPT. CPT is for internships, and CPT is what the US government calls it for international students. You can work part-time actually for your full master's degree for an American company. It's called CPT. Most people don't do it for the full time. They generally do it spring, summer, fall, and they'll then focus on academics winter and spring, and maybe do it again the next summer. But yeah, you can actually be doing an internship where you're making money. Now you cannot do an assistantship and a CPT at the same time. So you will need to decide, if you don't have a very attractive assistantship, that internship or CPT is great. The fourth option is OPT. OPT is for 1 year, and if you study STEM, you get 2 additional years making a US salary, and that's after graduation. Now when we talk about placement, like where you would actually work after graduation, your college will be sending out emails all the time saying, oh, this industrial partner of ours is hiring, send your resume, or this company that's located in Tech Point is hiring, send this. But also we do career fairs twice a year where they'll have hundreds of employers come, and that's really exciting. The majority of our international students end up working close to us, so they might be finding a job in Dallas or Houston, something like that. But we do see a number of them. One of my student workers last year, she was a chemistry student. She's now working for Meta. Students have gone and worked for hedge funds. Lots of different job opportunities. But we do see the primary outcome being closer to where we're located in Dallas and Houston for that first position. Does that answer your question? Oh, wonderful. Okay, great.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Ajit.
Nice to meet you.
Sir, could you explain the admission process and academic process?
Sure. The admissions process. You decide you want to apply to Louisiana Tech. You go to our website, you apply, you pay a $40 application fee, right? And then on that website, there's places where you can upload documents. You can do that. But I recommend emailing them because that lets the office know, hey, look at me, I'm applying, I'm sending you valuable documents, you want this, right? And so that email is gradschool@latech or latech.edu. Those documents they're going to want, I was in the checklist, an English proficiency test, your transcripts, GRE possibly, and letters of recommendation, and probably a statement of purpose. They're going to want those things. And don't worry if you forgot, just get my WhatsApp number, send me a text, I'll be happy to remind you. And then those will go to the college for review as we discussed just a minute ago. Now, you had a second part where you were asking about the academic side. Can you elaborate on that part of your question, sir?
Sir, like if I am a merit student, then how do I get an assistantship and scholarship? Like whether it's based on GRE, IELTS or any some other course fees.
Right. And so in the U.S., they're going to look at your application holistically, right? So they're going to look at your statement of purpose. So let's say somebody has been working for a company, right? You want to put that in your statement of purpose. Treat your statement of purpose like a cover letter for a job. So if you're not familiar with that, there's plenty of resources out there on how to write a good cover letter. So that statement of purpose should really focus on you as a candidate for employment, because that's what an assistantship is, right? Scholarships are free money, right? Scholarships are over, right? Undergrads get scholarships because they have no real skills. But you are graduating with an undergraduate degree from a highly acclaimed university. So what our university wants to do is we want to hire you. We want to utilize those skills. So you want to make sure your statement of purpose clearly shows that. And for your letters of recommendation, I would pick people who honestly can talk to those skills that you think are assets, not just the first person that comes to mind. So you might want to give some thought to that. And then at that point, your GPA, your GRE, if you do a GRE, those are all valuable. But really, it's that statement of purpose where you're laying any experience, that could be research experience, publications, things like that. And here's a great tip. I think anyone that's interested in going to grad school, go ahead and do some research, write a paper, and send it off somewhere, okay? It's always good to know that you're not really a researcher unless you have something in the mail, something that's being mailed out. And then in your statement of purpose, you can say that I have written this paper and I've sent it off for peer review or something like that. That's a great way to make your cover letter really pop when you write that. I hope that's helpful, sir.
Okay, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Ryan. Actually, I have a question regarding that. What are the long-term growth in and implemental in computer science and engineering? Like when I have researched, approximately computer science graduation is 3.1%. Then what are more improvements and growth, so that if we take a degree in computer engineering, then what are benefits are we going to get?
If I understand, you're saying that only 3.1% of all computer science graduates actually graduate. Is that what I'm understanding?
All the courses, actually. And in computer science, what about more growth or improvement?
I'm not fully understanding. I'm sorry. Could you elaborate just a little bit more, please?
Like in computer science, where I have researched, I got an information that I have seen that in computer science engineering, there are graduation at approximately 3.1% people have graduated. So what are more benefits and growth improvement are we going to get in LT, but if we take the degree as computer science engineering?
Okay. So I don't know how to talk about the 3.1 because I'm not sure about that data point, but what I am understanding is the benefits of pursuing computer science at Louisiana Tech, right? So clearly hot areas are data analysis and machine learning, right? Those are obvious, right? In my own PhD program that I'm about to start, we were talking about machine learning. That was said over and over and over when we were interviewing for that position, for that program. So that's going to be a big thing. We have a machine learning student association where students are doing that. One of the students that's coming in this year is going to be starting a Google certification program as a student association. So you will be able to do that. Any association can be started with only 8 students. So if you find 8 students interested in anything, you can do that, become the president. That's a great way to build up your resume as well. But the computer science, I am more familiar with it from the undergraduate perspective than the graduate perspective, so I apologize there. But for a student that comes in and studies computer science, right, never studied computer science at all, the first day you walk in and the professor is going to tell you, hey, I need you to build, here's a Raspberry Pi, I need you to build an algorithm, right? Something all of you are probably very well capable of doing. The second quarter, this is in your first year, you're going to be working with sensors and, okay, I want you to turn this piece of paper into a piano, right? And your third quarter is where it's actually where your freshman demonstration, where you have to come up with your own invention. Remember, we're very high on intellectual property. You're going to have to come up with your own invention to highlight what you can do. So that's just at the freshman level, right? Your first year in college, students are doing it. Now imagine you've got a bachelor's degree and you're moving into the graduate area. The kind of things you're going to be able to do, the algorithms you're going to be able to run, the machine learning that you're going to be able to look into, the data analysis, all of those will be spectacular. What I would recommend, my friend, is shoot me a WhatsApp message and repeat this question, and I will try to get more expert opinions on that specific process, and I'll share that with you. Absolutely.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Right. What I would recommend now, I want to say thank you to everyone for your time. I'm more than happy to.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh yeah, sure. I didn't see someone else. I'm so sorry. Please
Hello,
go ahead.
sir. Good afternoon. My query is that can you please elaborate on the scholarships or the benefits that we will be provided, like especially the merit students, the benefits they'll enjoy, like the merit students, the scholarships they'll be provided.
So scholarships are not available for graduate students. That's an important distinction. Instead, they are called assistantships. And assistantships is where you're being paid for your work or research. So by all means, if you're working for a professor or something like that, that assistantship is going to come in multiple levels. So the first layer is called Master Special, where you were waived out of state. So instead of paying $13,000, you're paying $7,500. per year, and you might get a very small stipend on top of that. The next level is where you're a master's student, but they're having a more significant stipend. That would be a larger amount coming to you. That might be $1,000 a month, $800 a month. PhDs sometimes will get a stipend of maybe up to $2,500 a month. So it really depends on how high up you are in your educational program. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
So the scholarships and the benefits that merit students will.
Did you say married?
Yes.
Well, married students would just be able to get the same assistantship as single students. So there wouldn't be any additional benefit for being married than being single. Right. So as I was saying, I know that a lot of you are probably here and you've listened to me long enough, and I appreciate that. What I'm going to do is I'll linger if it's possible and answer some. Is that okay? I'll answer your questions one-on-one. And feel free to come by and grab a flyer. It's got my contact information on it. So how about we switch this from a group discussion to maybe I'll meet with students more one-on-one and we can have those discussions. Does that sound fair to everyone? All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your hospitality. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ligon, sir, for that comprehensive and enlightening overview. We greatly appreciate the insights you have shared with us. Thank you for such an engaging and informative interaction. It's clear that today's session has provided with us a wealth of knowledge and new perspectives. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
As a token of gratitude and love, I now request our Chairman, sir, and Secretary, sir, to present a memento to our distinguished guest and speaker of today's session. Of all those who made this event possible, I now invite Dr. V. Neelima, Associate Professor, CSE Department, to express our gratitude through the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone over here. As we come to the close of this enriching session, it is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of our institution. Today's event has been a significant milestone, and it wouldn't have been possible without the contributions of many individuals. First and foremost, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed speaker from Louisiana Tech University, Mr. J.R. Legan, Director of International Affairs. Sir, your insightful presentation on the gratitude graduate degree program at Louisiana Tech University has opened new avenues for our students to consider in their academic pursuits. Your dedication to fostering avenues for our students to consider in their academic pursuits. Your dedication to fostering international collaboration and your willingness to share your expertise with us today is truly appreciated. Thank you for making the time to be with us and for providing such valuable insights. Thank you once again, sir. I would also like to extend our sincere thanks to Professor B. Ramu Ramachandran, the Associate Vice President for Research and Dean of Graduate School at LTU, USA. Although Professor Ramachandran could not join us today, his support and contributions to this session were instrumental in making it a success. We deeply appreciate his efforts in building a strong academic relationship between our institutions. Thank you, sir. Our heartfelt thanks go to our esteemed Principal Dr. K.S. Rao, sir. Sir, your leadership and unwavering support have been the backbone of all our endeavors. Your words of encouragement and wisdom today have inspired us to aim higher and continue striving for academic excellence. We are grateful for your continued guidance and for always being a pillar of strength for our institution. Thank you, sir. We are deeply thankful to our dynamic secretary and correspondent, Sri Jyothishmathi Garu. Sir, your visionary leadership and forward-thinking approach have consistently driven us towards innovation and excellence. Your message today has provided us with a renewed sense of purpose and direction, and we are truly fortunate to have your support. Thank you, sir. A special thank goes to our chairman, Sir J. Sagarrao Garu. Sir, your visionary leadership and constant encouragement have been the driving force behind our institution's growth. Your words today have once again reminded us of the bigger picture and the importance of continuing our pursuit of knowledge. We are deeply appreciative of your presence and your ongoing commitment to our success. Thank you, sir. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our Dean, ma'am, Dr. K. Vaishali, also heads of distinguished departments, all the faculty members and staff who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make this event a reality. Your dedication and hard work do not go unnoticed, and we are grateful for everything you do. I thank the press, both print and electronic media, for their presence here today and their support always. Finally, I would like to thank all the students and participants who joined us today. Your enthusiasm and curiosity are what make events like this truly special. We hope that the knowledge and insights you have gained today will guide you in your future endeavors. Once again, thank you all for being a part of this important session. Let's continue to work together to build bridges of knowledge and opportunity. Wishing everyone a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you all for your participation and attention throughout the today's session. We hope that the insights and information shared here have inspired and informed you. Let's continue to pursue knowledge and seize the opportunities that come our way with enthusiasm and dedication. Wishing you all a great health. Thank you.